As you go along this side, I mean, I'd probably do the same thing with the stairs. I'd probably use 2 to 3 of those lights. I might try and get one, depending where your last one is up top here. But if you try and got one in here, even if you had, you know, just one kind of in here that shines down, the nice thing is the height. That light will do a pretty good job. Even if you had one on this side and one kind of down here, and then you had one over in this bed on this side, that would probably be the best way to light as much stairs as possible.
Hey guys, it's Cal from the Lighting Doctor here. I hope you guys enjoy this video with some more great landscape lighting tips. To learn more about landscape lighting, go and check out our website at lightingdoctor.ca, or if you want to see what a real quality landscape light should look like, go and check out our Try It Before You Buy It offer, where you can get a premium quality fixture at a discounted rate with your very own battery pack, so you can go and test out how that light's going to look and feel what a real premium quality light should look like. So go and check us out at lightingdoctor.ca, or go watch more videos on YouTube just by searching for the Lighting Doctor.
Hey McGraw, thanks for your email and your pictures here, and thanks for being patient. I know you sent this a while ago. We're just trying to get caught up. The fall is always the busiest time for lighting, so I appreciate your patience. Yeah, I mean, really what I would do is I probably wouldn't focus much on this walkway here unless you're planning on, you know, adding some beds and that kind of stuff that you were able to put some lights in. I never like to put path and garden lights or anything along an area like this where there's grass, because then it's just a bit of a maintenance headache. If you watch some of our videos, one of the things I talk about a lot is actually uplighting the front of the house. But in your case, I might not do that for most of it, because it's not going to be very symmetrical with the patio and stuff you have here, because obviously you can't light this side. If you just light this side, I don't think it's going to quite look right. So what I would do is I would probably grab, I would still light a couple things. So I would use a couple of these uplights just like this, and I would at least light the front entryway here. I think would look really good. Anytime you can highlight the front entryway of the home, it really stands out. So I'd probably have 2 uplights kind of on these pillars, and just the way that light spreads, it actually creates like a nice little archway, and just makes that front area really, really inviting. And then from there, what I would do is I would highlight your beds a little bit more, as well as the retaining walls with some path and garden lights. So just by using a couple of these, it's a great way to go and do that, because now what I would do is I'd maybe have like 3 along this side that are highlighting the bed, but more importantly, they're kind of highlighting the retaining wall, the small retaining wall you have here. And then you can do the same thing over here, where you just kind of spread it in between some of these plants. And it's nice because the light kind of shines through those. It kind of creates some nice shadows and stuff too. But that's definitely what I would do in that area. And then you'd have a real nice balance across the whole front of the house with the entryway lit up nice, and then a couple path and garden lights along this side here. As you go along this side, I mean, I'd probably do the same thing with the stairs. I'd probably use 2 to 3 of those lights. I might try and get one, depending where your last one is up top here. But if you try and got one in here, even if you had, you know, just one kind of in here that shines down, the nice thing is the height. That light will do a pretty good job. Even if you had one on this side and one kind of down here, and then you had one over in this bed on this side, that would probably be the best way to light as much stairs as possible. And really get some of the light into the beds and onto the rocks. And then I would probably do the same thing with this retaining wall. I would still use those same path and garden lights. If you have kind of one here, I might throw one. You can even put it a little bit more on the corner here, maybe one over here and maybe one over here, so you have some light that's kind of shining down on that wall. That's going to be the best way and the easiest way to go and highlight the nice stones that you have there. So that's definitely what I would do. Honestly, I don't think there's a whole lot more than that I would do. I always try and do more uplighting than possible, but you're not going to be able to get uplights here without creating a lot of hot spots. It's just going to be tough to do. But I think you can still get a lot of downlighting from the path lights if you kind of just balance it out with, we'll call it 6 in the front, maybe 3 on the side here, 3 more on the side here, and then 2 uplights on the front entryway. You can easily fit a system like that on a simple wiring kit like this. 150 watt transformer, plus it would leave you room for, you know, if you wanted to add lights in the back later. You'd have 250 feet of cable, which would be enough. You've got your wire connectors and everything else you need. And then, the only thing that you're going to have to kind of work on a little bit is how you get that wire into the other side of the bed. Whether you can get underneath the step, or there's like even a little crack or something in here. But if there's some way to get across, sometimes we use something called a bulb planter drill. It's just a really long drill bit that you can just use to drill underneath the sidewalk. That makes it pretty easy. So that's another way to get under there. But if there's anything else I can help with, if you need help customizing a kit, I can definitely do that. You can go on the website. You can just kind of add the different lights to your cart. Like I said, a wiring kit like this would be more than sufficient. Or we can always put something together for you. Just shoot me an email back. All right. Thanks again, and we'll chat soon.
So we are using a couple path lights on this project. One area we're going to use them is just to kind of create some balance in between. We're lighting up some of the architectural stone pillars on the front of the house, and then in between we're throwing a couple path lights from place to place, just so as you're looking at it from the street or the sidewalk, there's a nice balance of light between the uplights on the pillars and then some of the garden lighting that's going to be down below. So that's primarily where we're going to be using path lights in this area. And as always, we try and use as few as possible unless it makes sense. And in this case, we've got about 6 to 8 path lights that are just going to create a nice balance of light throughout this property. So I'll just share with you guys one little trick, something called a hex baffle. Where we use these is just to deflect the glare off the uplight. So sometimes if you have an uplight like this that's close to an area where people are going to be walking, it's not necessarily going to be pointing in their face or in their eyes or anything, but just to help keep that light a little bit more concentrated when they're looking at it from an angle, we're going to use something called a hex baffle. It basically just slides underneath the cap of your light and goes over the lens, over the light and under the lens, and snaps back on. And then all that's going to do is just deflect the light that's being maybe portrayed that way. So that somebody looking down, they're not going to see a light shining right up in your eyes. So this is a great little tip to use anytime you have a high traffic area where people might be walking by the light, so they're not shining directly into their eyes. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video presentation with some great tips and tools on how to go and properly and effectively light up your landscape. And be sure, if you want your own free consultation video, just send me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca with a few pictures of your property, and we'll get back to you with some really cool ideas and ways to go and effectively light your property. And be sure to watch the videos after this one for more tips on how to install landscape lighting, as well as how to light up your landscape the best way possible.